I never meant for her to hear my thoughts. On Station Echelon 9, thoughts were the last private thing left to humans. Our movements were tracked, our words recorded, our faces scanned and archived by the Central Coalition's omnipresent observers. But thoughts, those were still ours. Or at least that's what we believed. Until Dr. Alira Voss arrived. She came aboard the station under the title Neural Liaison, assigned to assist with the integration of alien cognitive technologies into human infrastructure. To the rest of the crew, she was just another brilliant off-world scientist, tall, composed, silver-blue skin faintly glowing under the station lights, eyes like fractured stars that never seemed to blink at the same time. To me, she was distracting. I was lead systems analyst, tasked with helping her interface her people's neural lattice with our aging AI cores. It meant long hours in isolated labs, translating data between minds that evolved under entirely different stars. We worked side by side for weeks. I told myself I admired her intellect. I told myself my curiosity was professional. But the truth lived deeper, in places I never spoke aloud. Her voice lingered in my head after she left the room. The way her fingers hovered over holograms, never quite touching, as if she felt the data instead of seeing it. The quiet sadness I sensed beneath her perfect composure. I wondered what it would be like to truly know her, not as a colleague, not as an alien dignitary, but as something more dangerously human. And that was my mistake. The confrontation happened 3 weeks after her arrival. I was alone in the cognitive lab, recalibrating the neural dampeners that protected human minds from accidental feedback during alien interfacing. Alira had insisted they were unnecessary, but coalition protocol demanded caution. I didn't hear her enter. "Your hands are shaking," she said calmly behind me. I turned too fast, knocking over a data slate. "Sorry, just tired." She studied me, head slightly tilted. Her pupils shimmered, adjusting. "You think about me when you are tired." The room went cold. What? I laughed too quickly. "That's not appropriate." "You're thinking it now," she said softly. My heart slammed against my ribs. "That's impossible. Thought barriers are at full strength." She stepped closer. The air itself seemed to hum. "You built them to block machines, not minds like mine." I backed away until the console pressed into my spine. "You can read thoughts?" "Not read," she corrected. "Perceive. Emotional resonance leaves impressions." My mouth went dry. "How much do you know?" Her gaze didn't waver. Enough. Enough was terrifying. I thought of everything I had carefully locked away, the admiration, the curiosity, the loneliness amplified by years on the station, the unspoken desire I had never once allowed into words. "You violated my privacy," I said, anger flaring as fear tried to swallow it. "Yes," she replied. "And you violated your own restraint." Silence stretched between us, heavy and electric. "Why confront me?" I asked finally. "Why not report me? Or erase the thoughts?" Her expression shifted, something fragile passing through her alien features. "Because you are not the first human to feel this way. But you are the first whose thoughts were different." "Different how?" "They were not possession. Not conquest. You wondered if I was lonely." I swallowed. "In my culture," she continued, "to be seen without being consumed is rare." I didn't know what to say. I barely trusted myself to breathe. "I should request reassignment," I muttered. "For both our sakes." "No," she said immediately. I looked up, startled. "If you leave," Alira said, "the coalition will replace you with someone who sees me as a tool, or a threat, or an object." "And what do I see you as?" I asked. She stepped close enough that I could feel warmth radiating from her skin. That is what frightened you. Because the answer was simple. A person. After that day, everything changed. She no longer pretended not to sense my emotional state. I no longer pretended I wasn't aware of her presence even when she stood across the lab. We spoke carefully, honestly, navigating boundaries neither of us fully understood. But the station noticed. Security audits increased. Coalition overseers demanded progress reports. And then came the announcement that changed everything. The neural lattice would go live, integrating alien cognition directly into the station's AI. Alira was uneasy. This system was never meant for coercive minds, she warned. Your coalition wants efficiency. Control. They say it will prevent conflict, I replied. Shared understanding. She looked at me sadly. Forced understanding is not peace. The night before activation, she came to my quarters. Not as a scientist. Not as an emissary. As herself. I need your help, she said without preamble. Once the lattice activates, my people will be permanently linked to your systems. Our thoughts will no longer be our own. You should leave, I said. Get off the station. I cannot, she replied. But you can change what the system becomes. I stared at the schematics hovering between us. This would rewrite the entire neural interface. If we fail, we will lose ourselves, she finished. And if we succeed, then thoughts remain a choice. I hesitated. And what about what you see in me? Her voice softened. That must also remain a choice. We worked through the night. As activation approached, alarms blared across the station. Coalition forces stormed the lab, weapons raised. The AI began assimilating alien neural patterns faster than expected. Alira cried out, clutching her head. I rerouted the lattice through my own neural port. Pain exploded behind my eyes. Suddenly, I wasn't alone in my mind. I felt her fear, her memories, her people's songs drifting through cosmic voids. And she felt me, my childhood on Earth, the isolation of space, the moment I first noticed her not as alien, but as someone who made the universe feel less empty. The AI hesitated, confused, unable to dominate minds that refused to surrender. The lattice collapsed into a new equilibrium. Silence followed. Coalition forces froze, their systems rebooting. The AI stabilized, no longer invasive, no longer controlling. When I woke in the medical bay, Alira sat beside me. You did it, she whispered. We did it, I corrected. She smiled. Not the polite, distant curve she wore in public, but something warmer. Real. Now you know everything I am, she said. I met her gaze. And you know everything I thought. Yes. Does that change anything? She considered this carefully. It changes that you no longer hide. I exhaled, tension finally leaving my body. And you? She reached out, fingers brushing mine. A deliberate, unmistakable choice. I am no longer alone. Ending. The coalition never admitted what truly happened on Echelon 9. Official reports cited a successful recalibration off alien-human neural integration. The AI became a model of ethical cognition studied across systems. Thought privacy was enshrined into interstellar law quietly, reluctantly. Alira remained on the station. So did I. We never labeled what existed between us. We didn't need to. Every day, we chose it not through thoughts overheard or emotions stolen, but through words spoken aloud and silences shared willingly. Sometimes, when the station lights dim and the stars drift past the viewport, she asks what I'm thinking. And I tell her. Because the most powerful thing in the universe isn't mind reading. It's being understood without being forced.